Sometimes people can be addicted to watching others finally receive the justice that they deserve. I know I can attest to this statement because I was one of those people. I got addicted to watching these Facebook videos of cops arresting the drug lords, the gang members, and the people who have warrants out for their arrest. I got addicted to watching these 5 to 6 minute videos constantly, on and on. After watching these videos one day, I was able to set my phone down, and I thought to myself, man, I'm so glad that I'm not like one of those people getting arrested day after day. And instantly, the passage from Luke 18 came to my mind, the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. I want to read this passage to you guys. He, meaning Jesus, told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and treated others with contempt. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, prayed thus, God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week, and I give tithes on all that I get. But the tax collector, standing afar off, would not even lift up his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. When this passage came to my mind as I was watching those Facebook videos, I was instantly convicted. But I want to break down this passage fully so we can fully understand the meaning of the parable. Now, there are 2 main characters in this parable, the Pharisee and the tax collector. The Pharisee was well known in his day by being an expert at the law. He memorized most of the law at this point, and he was an expert at what he did. He was doing every single thing, or was supposed to do every single thing in the law. Now, the tax collector is very different. The tax collector received money from the Jews and was giving it to the Romans, but he also pocketed some for himself. He was considered a traitor to his own people. Now, in this parable, what were they both doing? They were both doing the exact same thing. They were both praying to God, Yahweh. But the posture or manner in which they were doing it was very different. The Pharisee was praying out of pride. You can clearly see that in this passage. And the tax collector was praying out of humility. He knew who he was. Now, when I was thinking about the application of this section, I was thinking, maybe just we Christians should just not think or act like this Pharisee did. I don't think that's the meaning of this parable. The parable is always pointing to, it's like an arrow pointing to a meaning. So what is that meaning? Here it is. Humility will be exalted over righteous deeds. I'll say it again. Humility will be exalted over righteous deeds. It's like a scale for a judge. When you have humility on one side and righteous deeds on the other. And humility will always weigh more than the righteous deeds in God's eyes. Jesus is giving that statement here at the end of this passage. He was giving that statement to the so-called righteous people in the crowd. I feel like sometimes we can be some of those righteous people, or the Pharisees in this passage. Just doing the right things. Going to church every single week, giving to the needy, and helping the poor. Those things are right. We should do those things, but the manner in which we do them matters to God's eyes. Humility will be exalted over righteous deeds. We should do those exact same practices with humility. There's a very clear difference, and Jesus states it right in this parable. We as Christians should practice those same deeds with humility. Why? Because humility will be exalted over righteous deeds.